Hello everyone. Myself Professor Neha Dikshit. I'm going to show you one part from the gear and thread manufacturing processes, and that comes under your subject title, that is machining science and technology. So before going to start the actual process, I want to give the introduction that gears are used extensively for transmission of a power, and they find applications in automobile sectors, that is in vehicles, various vehicles, in gearboxes, oil engines, machine tools, industrial machinery, agricultural machinery, gear motors, etc. To meet various service conditions, the gear should have robust construction, reliable performance, high efficiency, economy and long life. Also, the gear should be fatigue free and free from high stresses to avoid their frequent failure. The gear drive should be free from the noise, chatter and should ensure high load carrying capacity at the constant velocity. So all these are the conditions for the gear manufacturing, and to meet all the above conditions, gear manufacture has become a highly specialized field. Below we will discuss various materials and manufacturing processes to produce it, and in this video first of all we will see the various materials used in a gear manufacturing, and then after that we will see casting and forming method. First of all, materials. The various materials used for the gears include wide variety of cast irons, steels, non-ferrous materials, and in that bronze and aluminium, and also non-metallic materials such as leather, plastic, nylons, textolite, etc. used. The selection of a material for the gear depends upon various parameters or various factors, and that factors are type of a service, peripheral speed, degree of accuracy required. It may be super finished or high degree of accuracy or low degree of accuracy. Method of manufacturing, which include casting, forming, extrusion, milling process, required dimension, weight of the drive, allowable stress, shock resistance and wear resistance. So according to this factor, material for the gear manufacturing is said. First of all, we will see the cast iron. It is popular due to its good wearing properties, excellent machinability and easy of producing complicated shape. But it is not suitable for the high load or high stresses, and where large gears of complicated shapes are needed. Second material is steel. It is sufficiently strong and highly resistant to wear by abrasion. The teeth can be machined to the required degree of accuracy, and also it can transmit the heavy loads. Third material mostly used, that is the cast steel, and it is used where stress on gear is high and it is difficult to fabricate the parts. Next is the plain carbon steel. In that it includes medium carbon steel and high carbon steel, where the percentage of the carbons is from 0.3 to 0.6%, and this material find application for the industrial gears, where high toughness combined with a high strain, fatigue limit in bending, long life and accuracy of teeth are required. Where high tooth strength and low tooth wear are required, for example industrial and automobile gears, alloy steel are used, and in that magnesium, nickel, chromium and molybdenum are used. To combine properly the toughness, gear made of steel are heat treated. It may be cold or hot working. The various heat treatment processes are employed are case hardening, through hardening, nitriding, etc. And high hardness heat treated steel gives smaller gears for a given load. Also the service life is increased by about 10 times without increasing the size or weight of the gears. So first of all we will see case hardened steel. In that carbon percentage is very less, it is up to the 0.2%, and alloy with nickel, chromium and molybdenum is used for industrial gears where conditions are varying load and shock. So it is basically used for the shock resistance material. Next is the surface hardening steel. In that carbon percentages lies in between the 0.4 to 0.6%, and alloy with manganese, chromium and molybdenum and flame induction harden. It is used where tooth surface has to be very hard and core soft, for example gears used for the transmitting shock loads. Nitrided steel, when you any material nitriding procedure is done, then the hardness is increases, and when nitrided steel is used, the hardness has to be very high, up to the 750 to 800 Brenner hardness number, for example, and it is used in aircraft gears, marine propulsion gears and industrial gears. Brands are popular in a warm gear drives to withstand the sliding load and ability to wear in to fit hardened steel worm. They are also be useful for the corrosive condition like combustion engine. They can also be easily cast into complex shape. Aluminium is used where low inertia of rotating mass is desired, for example, instrument gears and appliances. Gears are made of non-metallic materials, gives noiseless operations at high peripheral speed, but their load carrying capacity is low. For example, gears for the instrument, appliances, etc. Now there are the three methods for the manufacturing. First one is the casting, second metal forming and metal removal. Today I am going to explain two methods, that is the casting and metal forming. Out of the above method, metal removal or machining is best and most widely used method for mass production of high quality gears. So first of all, casting. Gears can be produced by the various casting processes. Sand casting is economical and can take up large size and module, but gears have rough surfaces and inaccurate in dimension. These gears are used in machinery where operating speed is low and where noise and accuracy of motion can be tolerated, for example, farm machinery and some hand-operated devices. Sand casting is suitable for one-off or small batches. Large quantity of small gears are made by die casting. These gears are fairly accurate and need little finish. However, the materials used are low melting ones such as alloys or of zinc, aluminum and copper. So these gears are suitable for only light duty application, for example gears used in toys, cameras and counters. Gears made by the investing casting may be accurate with good surface finish and will be made of the steel. Moderate size gears are currently being steel cast in a metal molds to produce preforms which are later forged to size. Light gears of thermoplastics are made by the injection molding, and this method is suitable for the large volume production. However, gear tooth accuracy is no high and initial cost is high. For phosphorus bronze worm wheel rims, centrifugal casting is used for more extensively than any other method. Centrifugal casting is also applied to the manufacture of steel gears. Both vertical and horizontal axis spinners are used. After casting, the gears are annealed or normalized to remove the cooling stresses, and they may be then heat treated if required to provide the needed properties. Centrifugally cast gears performs as well as rolled gears are usually less expensive. Shell molding is also sometimes used to produce small gears, and the product is a good cast gear of somewhat lower accuracy than one made by the investment casting, but much superior the sand casting. Second method is the forming, and for the particularly gear manufacturing, forming includes roll forming, extrusion and cold drawing. First one is the roll forming. In roll forming of a gear, the gear plank is mounted on a shaft and is pressed against hardened steel rolling dies. The rolls are fed inward gradually during the several revolution, which produces the gear teeth from the solid. That means in one revolution you will not get the gear tooth, you require several revolutions to produce a gear tooth. The forming rolls are very accurately made, and the roll formed gear teeth usually have excellent accuracy. Roll forming is done both hot and cold. In hot rolling, the hot roll gear is usually used, and in cold roll, which completes the gear with a smooth mirror finish. In a cold roll forming, higher pressures are needed as compared to the hot rolling. Many of the gears produced by this process needed no further finishing. Since the material is strained plastically during the process, it becomes stronger against both tension and fatigue. Since this method can be called as a chipless method, because no metal removal, there is a material saving, there is a no material wasting. So saving in machining operation may be up to the 80%. The machinery is very expensive, and so the method is suitable only for the mass production. Both spur and helical gears are being made by this process. Next is the extrusion process. In that, small size gear can be made by the extrusion process. Other operations like piercing, the hole upsetting or heading etc. are also needed to produce the complete gear. At the end, only finishing grinding is required to complete the job. There is a saving in the material and machining time also. The method can produce any shape of the tooth form and is suitable for high volume production. Gears produced by extrusion find application in watches, clocks, typewriters, etc. Previously, only brass, aluminium, magnesium alloys are extruded, but now steel bars up to the 60 diameter are cold extruded. This is all about the introduction about the material used in the gear manufacturing and various process of the gear manufacturing. In that, we completed the casting and forming process. Thank you for watching this video.